those young men that come here illegally will be sent to Rwanda and they'll be processed there. At last, they're doing something.
I'm just trying to think, actually, has there ever been like a time before that, you know, sort of like undesirable people were rounded up and sort of sent somewhere, you know, like concentrated in one area, you know, like in a camp, like a concentration camp? Has that ever happened before in history? Right, so we're going to talk about Rwanda today, and these bloody anti-immigrant GB News crew absolutely creaming their pants at the prospects of rounding up a load of immigrants and sending them to a camp, a prison camp in Rwanda.
So we have a combination of circumstances here where people are dying in the channel and criminals are getting rich on it. Therefore, something has to be done. What the government is proposing is similar to what has been done successfully in Australia.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to repeat that. I thought you said it's success. You sure you meant success? Oh, you did? Oh shit, you actually do think it's a success. Bloody hell. Portillo, what's going on with you, mate? You've really rolled downhill, isn't it? From being like a regular on This Week and Newsnight, you're now getting down with the anti-immigration crew on GB News.
And when I hear people talking about the value for money problems, the thing is that because Australia introduced this sort of policy, the crossings by boat of migrants came to an end.
Sure.
Overnight, they came to an end. And so, how do you put a cost value on that? The fact that suddenly you didn't have to be spending, in the British case, £1.5 billion a year putting migrants up in hotels.
Seriously, I do not understand this logic at all. You generally think that sending them off to Rwanda, paying for a camp, paying for food, paying for shipping over there, paying all this cost is cheaper than a hotel in the UK. I do not understand this logic at all. It makes no sense to me.
And just straying into the Justin Welby thing, I mean, human life is very important, and we need to put a value on human life.
Yes, Portillo, we do have to put a value on life. Maybe start with not rounding people up and sending them to Rwanda. With God knows how many human violations happened when the Australians done it. I'm just trying to think, actually, has there ever been like a time before that, you know, sort of like undesirable people were rounded up and sort of sent somewhere, you know, like concentrated in one area, you know, like in a camp, like a concentration camp? Has that ever happened before in history? Also, has there ever been a time where sort of like the media is used to sort of put hatred on these people and, you know, get public opinion towards sending them to these camps? Has that ever happened before? I'm not sure. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below.
We want to actually understand what is really going on and whether it's going to work, because it strikes me that's important. Now, what do I think about this? Let's put it this way. If, and I think there is an if, but if we do see many hundreds of young undocumented males who've crossed the English Channel being flown off to Rwanda, that will, certainly in the short term, act as something of a deterrent. After all, why would you pay a trafficker €3,000, €5,000, whatever the going rate may be, if you thought in short order you'd finish up in Rwanda?
So Farage says it's a deterrent, and to be fair, it probably is a deterrent. I mean, we could send aircraft over the English Channel and blow up every dinghy that comes across. That would be a deterrent. I mean, how far do you take it? I mean, we've seen the human rights abuses that have happened in these camps in Australia. Children being imprisoned. Children. Do we really want that here in the UK? Well, in Rwanda. I find it interesting, the use of the pictures that they use in GB News. You see the pictures in that last article of the migrants on the beach smoking cigarettes. They obviously like had a little meeting and thought, right, which pictures are going to show these guys in the worst light possible? Found one. These guys are smoking. Oh no, not smoking. How can they come over here if they can afford cigarettes? It's all planned. It's all planned. Jesus Christ, these guys have just had a near-death experience trying to cross the channel. If someone offered me a cigarette, I'd be all over it. Thanks. You know, it's I just don't get it. And this whole Rwanda scheme, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I'm starting to think anyway that maybe this won't even happen, and this has just been put forward for the May elections, just to get all the anti-immigration crew, you know, to just keep them happy for a bit by promising them this camp in Rwanda. They love it, don't they? Oh yeah, let's have a camp in Rwanda, that'll solve all the problems. I just don't understand it. This time last year you were having a go on GB News about the cost of hotels, putting these guys up in hotels, and now you want to spend millions on shipping them to Rwanda. The cost of flights or ships or the camps themselves, the food, the everything, but you're happy about it. I don't get the logic. I really don't get the logic. A cheap travel lodge, putting these up in a cheap travel lodge, you go absolutely berserk, but spending millions shipping to Rwanda and you're all loving it. You're absolutely loving it. I just don't get it. I mean, this okay, right, I'm Priti Patel. No, I'm not Priti Patel. So, yeah, I'm Home Secretary for a minute. What am I going to do to solve this problem? Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm sort of thinking in some dreamland where this sort of stuff doesn't really happen, but this whole migrant problem sorts two issues out in this country, and the main one is we're desperate for farm workers in this country. So many other countries, I've seen it, are begging for migrants to come over, and they set up really good, clean, honest dwellings for them and get them working on the farms. I just don't understand why we don't do this in this country. So find the people traffickers, arrest them, spend money there, but also try and curb the demand by trying to get people over there legally. Just go over to France, go over to these migrants, say, look, we can get you dwelling. Okay, you're gonna have to pay a lot of tax. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay a decent amount of tax and money for your dwellings and food and stuff like that, but we can set you up. And we can not a bloody prison camp in Rwanda, but a good farming camp community with good accommodation and decent work and decent pay, because that's why these people are here. We know why these people are here. They want to work, they want to earn money to send it back. And you go over to France and offer them work, they'll bite your hand off. But of course, you know, a Tory government's not going to do this, because we live in a society where every government is just putting forward policies, not what policies better the country, but what policies will keep them in power. Spending a lot of money on this is not going to make Tory voters happy. Spending a lot of money on some prison camp in Rwanda is making these twats happy. This is what just frustrates me. We're in a constant cycle of just putting forward policies that will keep governments in power, rather than policies that are going to make this country better. And it just amazes me. We've got all these hard working people that want to come over here, and every day we're seeing desperate farms needing farm pickers. The two come together, surely. The two problems come together. It's idiotic. It's just numbskull. Come on. I mean, am I really this naive? Am I living in cuckoo land? Is this really a stupid idea to think that maybe we just invest some money on putting good dwellings up around these farms so these people can come and work? You know, even the GB News lot were on about bloody, you know, their argument against the trade problems that we have in Brexit is, well, we're not going to import anything. Okay, sure, all right, well, let's start fucking farming our own bloody goods then, and let's start at the basics. We can grow food. We can't even pick our own food at the moment because we haven't got the labour, so we're importing that straight away. Stage one of being self-sufficient in this country. Let's get some labour in to farm. Anyway, I really am babbling now, I really am, but what do you guys think? It's just ridiculous. I'm not even sure this Rwanda thing's going to happen, but you know, I wouldn't put anything past Patel at the moment. Let me know in the comments, guys. Till next time, take care.